When Mario Tennis Fever was first revealed, I was kinda surprised that we were getting another Mario Tennis game so soon after Aces, but then I realised Aces came out almost 8 years ago. Anyway, let's see what this new one's all about. I booted up the game and instantly played the adventure mode first, since that's what I was most looking forward to. I knew it had something to do with the characters being like babies or something, but I didn't expect it to start with Daisy being bloody bedridden. It said she was showing no signs of improvement, like this was serious. She must have that Mario Tennis fever. Like I don't think there's any other Mario game with an opening like this. Wario and Waluigi then barge in, suspiciously offering their help, which was most likely a scam. Like you'd think they'd give it a rest for this one serious situation, but apparently there was this golden apple that could cure Daisy, which, I mean, they do work on zombie villagers, so maybe it would work. So everyone turned their frowns upside down and went off to find one of these elusive golden apples. But when they got there, Wario and Waluigi revealed their true intentions, which was to of course find some treasure that was there. Thankfully the golden apple was real though, so Mario epically jumped up this tree to get it. Just as everything was going well, there was this earthquake or something, and of course, Tweedledum and Tweedledee came out of this temple, running away from this mysterious purple void. Luigi started using this Animal Crossing shovel to fight back, while Mario used a frying pan like Rapunzel, but unfortunately, they all ended up being claimed by the darkness, and for some reason, turned into babies. Except for Donkey Kong. I don't know how he got away with not being transformed. Nintendo, why don't you like baby Donkey Kong? Anyway, the next thing I knew I was playing as baby Mario being enrolled into this tennis academy, since Toad thought that if Mario, wasn't using a frying pan, he could beat that evil mysterious force in a tennis match, which would then hopefully turn everyone back to normal, which definitely makes sense. And I first started with some basic training to regain my strength and amazing tennis skills, which I definitely had. The first little test the instructor Toad had me doing was to practice just hitting and returning the ball, and I knew I wasn't great at Mario Tennis or anything, but I couldn't even hit it over the net. I was so embarrassed, I didn't realise I was that shocking at tennis. And it didn't help that this talking flower was making comments as if I couldn't hear him.
So close! Great effort! Where's the party?
To be honest, I thought my tennis career was over. I was ready to go and get my bags. But then Toad suggested I have a go at one of the training machines they had to get my strength up. So I decided to give it a go, and the machine outside of it was Flood. He's back. I was actually really excited to see him, but I wasn't so excited when I found myself on this new Super Mario Bros. Wii looking mushroom, playing this little minigame. There's a few different types of minigame exercises like this, and after completing each one of them, I learned a new type of tennis skill, like top spins, slices, lobs, and drop shots. And I slowly started to realise that instead of this being an adventure mode, it was more like a fancy tutorial for the game, at least for like half of it. I made my way through the different ranks in the academy, earning stickers from beating other students in tennis, and completing little Sonic Unleashed trivia quizzes. It wasn't just baby Mario training though, because eventually, baby Luigi joined me, and we started playing together as a team in double matches. His reveal was awesome, it was like something out of a Marvel movie. Baby Wario and Waluigi also got involved a bit, but they couldn't beat me and Luigi. We absolutely destroyed them. Baby Luigi was actually a lot better than I thought he was going to be. I thought he was going to be a bit of a hindrance, but I was really happy to have him on the team. Eventually, me and Luigi made it to the highest rank of the academy, and all that's left for me to do was to take part in the graduation tournament. It was hopefully now time for all of our hard work and training to pay off. There were 3 matches in total, and first up was some Koopas, and they didn't stand a chance. Me and Luigi were in sync, and we got a bit of a flow going. It went to 15 love, 30 love, 40 love. They weren't winning this.
30 love.
Whatever you say. Love?
Next up, we were already in the semi-finals, and our opponents were Kamek and Boom Boom.
I just did a boom boom.
We managed to beat both of them, and the final match was against Birdo and Toadette. We needed to lock in to beat these two. I countered one of Toadette's fever shots, which is like the new type of shot in the game, and she somehow dived across like half the field to return it. How did she even do that? We still managed to win though, and that meant that baby Mario and Luigi had finally graduated from the academy. It was now time for the adventure to truly begin, and it started in the sky on Peach's airship. Things were looking pretty good. We were on our way to where the mysterious monsters were, but then Wario and Waluigi, who we let come with us for some reason, challenged us to a nice little friendly game of tennis. So, of course, Mario and Luigi went along with it. But they used these fire rackets that ended up setting the ship on fire, and after committing arson, they were both like, we're out of here, and jumped off the ship, leaving us to sort out the blazing fire. Why did we invite them again? Like, can we please just leave them next time? Anyway, I had to put out all of the fire on the ship using some water blobs, which the Toads could have just thrown onto the fire itself, but I'm not going to question it. It was a fun little tennis minigame. And after all of that, we somehow managed to arrive safely on the island where the purple Ribena monsters were. And this was where I started to get a little bit worried about this whole adventure mode, since it kinda looked like there was only going to be about 3 or 4 more levels on this map before we reached what I guessed to be the final level at that mountain looking place. Surely it wasn't going to be over soon, right? Anyway, I found myself in this ice cave level next. And if they just put a little bit more stuff into this level, it could have been like a mini Zelda dungeon. I think if I put some chests around, added a few locked doors, and just added some more tennis puzzles into it, it could have been really interesting. But all in all, this was a really simple level. Donkey Kong then miraculously appeared, and the next level had me fighting this Cheap Chomp alongside him. Another character that appeared was Daisy, who had seemingly made a full recovery, which was good to see. Daisy helped us get through this forest, and we ended up fighting P.T. Piranha, which was probably my favourite boss fight in the whole game. It's basically just a giant sunshine reference, and when you use his fever shot, it put some icky paint like gloop on our side of the field, which was cool. I'd never been more happy to see mud in my life. We had to get a rally going to wind him up a bit, which eventually let us smack his belly button to defeat him. Baby Wario and Waluigi then had the cheek to show their faces again after leaving us to die, and they revealed that apparently Bowser had told him to do that, as he planned on defeating the monsters all by himself to claim the glory of turning Princess Peach back to normal. Like, does this guy really not have anything better to do with his time? And Wario and Waluigi thought Bowser had a better chance at defeating the monster than us, which I guess is why they almost killed us. Well, I don't think they needed any reason to do it. They're just Mario and Luigi's #1 haters. They do it for the love of the game. The next boss I fought was another returning face, being King Histocrat from 3D World. It felt like all the bosses were appearing. I wouldn't have been surprised if the Deadly Six turned up. Eventually, we met up with Baby Peach, who had escaped being kidnapped by Bowser, and she said that he had already made his way to the valley where the monster was, so we got a move on. I went to try and catch up with him. There were multiple monsters responsible for turning our heroes into babies, and his final level had me fighting 3 of them, one by one. I was expecting these monsters to be demons, you know. I thought they were going to be some sort of horrifying creatures. But as I was fighting this first one, it turned out to just be a random scuttlebug. Like, really? Those are meant to be the deadly monsters behind all of this. To be fair though, they did have this crazy attack that could just instantly take out my partner if I didn't deflect it. I defeated 2 of these while I was making my way to where Bowser was, which made Luigi and Peach turn back to their usual selves. So all that's left to do now was to defeat the final scuttlebug and turn Mario back to normal. Oh yeah, as well as Wario and Waluigi, I guess. And this wasn't just any scuttlebug, this was the King Scuttlebug. The tree that the golden apple grew on had given the scuttlebug some sort of mysterious power, and now Bowser had decided to try and harness that power for himself. So the final boss fight wasn't just against the King Scuttlebug, but Bowser as well. It took us through all of the areas we'd been to again, and after smacking Bowser's shell into the King Scuttlebug, they were both defeated. Everyone had now turned back to normal, including the Scuttlebugs. And then that was it. The credits rolled. Wait a minute, that's it? Surely that wasn't the whole story mode, right? Well, after just over 4 hours of playtime, that was it. I'd completed the adventure mode.
That's it? That was just a bunch of cheap walk cycles!
I haven't played the Aces story mode since it came out, but surely it was longer than that. Like, I guess there's technically stuff you can do in the post game, but in terms of levels, that was it. It was over, it was done. So I went back to the main menu and had a look at this medal board that had different objectives on it. There were 5 of these medals to get, so I thought, you know what, I've got 1 already for completing the adventure mode, I might as well go for all of these. I was also curious to see whether I'd get anything for collecting all of them, and the next medal had me trying to win every tournament in the game. There's both singles and doubles tournaments, with them having 3 cups each, being the Mushroom Cup, the Fireflower Cup, and the Star Cup. I decided to start with the singles cups and played as Luigi with the epic mud racket. As you probably expect, the Mushroom Cup wasn't too difficult, especially as the opponents didn't use any special fever rackets. I went against this Goomba, Mario, and the final match was against Toadette. For beating her and winning my first tournament, I unlocked Baby Mario. I slowly ended up unlocking all of the characters after doing stuff like winning these tournaments, and playing through all of the different modes in the game. I played as Luma next in the Fireflower Cup, and I like how a little green Luma from Galaxy appears in its opening animation, which definitely isn't just a reuse animation from Aces. I also really like the Luma Lee skin as well, though I do wish there were more outfits to unlock for the characters. Mario Kart World had loads, so it's a bit of a shame there's hardly any in this game. Like, you'd think reusing animations from Aces would give them a little bit more time to add stuff like that, but apparently not. Even just adding the characters' normal outfits as unlockables would have been a nice little inclusion. Thinking about it, I did find it kinda weird when they first revealed the game that their tennis outfits were the same as they were in Aces. You'd think they'd give the designs a bit of a refresh, right, to help differentiate the games a bit more. Anyway, the Star Cup tournament was definitely the most difficult one. I was playing playing as Junior, and this Yoshi I was playing against was a demon, man. It felt like I was playing at Wimbledon or something. Yoshi was using this fever racket that could just let him use Ultra Instinct or something. He was just teleporting to wherever the ball went, and this was just the semi-finals. I still had one more match to win after that. I just about managed to beat him though, and the final match was against King Koopa himself, Bowser. I was actually quite relieved when I saw him. He's Junior's dad, like surely he's gonna go easy on him, right? But Bowser was going crazy. I don't know what Junior did to annoy him, but he was out for blood.
Okay, so how do I win?
You don't.
Wow! Ow! Ow!
His fever racket created these volcanic eruptions that could just straight up kill me if my health was low. An annoying part of this match was when I'd use a fever shot and Junior would just endlessly run towards the ball, like, just hit it. This match went on for so long that it ended up going to a tiebreaker, which I didn't know was even in the game. I started getting a bit scared towards the end, as I thought that if I lost the match, I'd have to start the whole tournament from the beginning again. And when Bowser ended up winning the tiebreaker, I was terrified, man. He completely destroyed me in the 4th set after that, so just when he was about to win, I tried out this save and quit button that I'd spotted before in the menu. I thought surely they weren't going to let me start the match from the beginning again, right? But surprisingly, it worked, and I got to have another go at defeating Bowser. So with my new time travelling ability, I managed to win the singles Star Cup. Next I went and played through all of the doubles tournaments. I decided to play as Luigi, and for my partner, I picked my arch nemesis Yoshi. He gave me a lot of trouble in that one match, so I thought he was a decent pick. I also gave him the Star Fever racket that he used against me, when he was teleporting around. But funnily enough, now that we were on the same team, he decided to hardly use his fever shots. He's happy enough using them every 5 seconds before, so yeah, I see how it is, Yoshi. The final doubles match that I played was against Wario and Waluigi, and the thwomp that kept crushing them was really funny.
Which way are we going?
In a doubles match, when you lose all of your health, you essentially get put in timeout for a little bit, leaving your partner to fend for themselves. So when this happened to one of them after getting demolished by a thwomp, I tried to make the most out of it and score as much as I could. We eventually beat them, and that meant that I'd now completed every tournament in the game. It's a bit weird though that there isn't some form of checklist showing which characters you've completed each tournament with. A little tick by Luigi would have been nice. Anyway, to get the next medal, I needed to clear all of the trial towers. There's 3 of them to climb, and there's 10 floors of challenges to complete on each one. There's one floor where I had to use a frying pan as a racket, and there was another one where I was playing as Baby Mario, alongside Baby Luigi and Peach, and this was a 3v1 match against Bowser. This level kinda made me wonder if they ever considered adding a 3v3 mode into the game. It would probably be pretty chaotic, but maybe if you were playing on a larger court it could work. On some of these floors, the opponent used an invisible racket, which would make the ball just disappear when it went onto my side of the court. I almost thought this was a glitch at first. Quite a few of these trials were just standard 1st to 5 points matches, with some different gimmicks thrown into them, but there were a few different types of other trials, like the Piranha Plant Challenge, which had me making sure the opponent wasn't able to return the ball. I had 3 hearts per climb, so I had to make sure not to fail a trial. Otherwise, if I lost all of my hearts, I'd have to start all the way down at the bottom of the tower again. After completing the 3 towers, I unlocked the all trial mode, which is where I found out that there's 100 different trials in the game, and to get the next medal, I needed to achieve a 3-star rating in all of them. Some of these were definitely more difficult than other ones. The first one that gave me some issues was this one where I was playing as this Goomba. To get one of the stars in this level, I had to not get burnt while I was playing, which isn't exactly easy considering that there was loads of fire on the floor, and I was stuck waddling around as a Goomba. And also, fire and Goombas are 2 things that just don't go well together. I had to sort of just try and stay in the middle of the rows of fire and hope that Spike didn't have a bad day or anything. I really appreciated how quickly you could retry a level as well, since I ended up messing up a lot. Yeah, let's just say there were a lot of roasted Goombas that day. You get 1 star for just completing the level, and the other 2 have you completing different objectives during it. And what was nice was that I didn't have to get all of the stars on the level in one go to get all of them, so I could just sort of pick and choose which star I wanted to go for first. A lot of the star objectives just had me making sure the opponent didn't score, and another common one required me not to leap, so I had to make sure I wasn't diving around the place. Some of my favourite trials in the game were definitely the ones based off of Mario Wonder. I haven't played Wonder yet, but even I could appreciate seeing the singing piranha plants and the other different characters from the game. I remember everyone praying for Odyssey stuff to show up in the different spin-off games, so it's nice to see some characters from Wonder at least. The last few trials I completed were the ring shot ones. As you can probably guess, I had to hit the ball through some rings to gain points. The stars on this level mainly required me to get a certain amount of them, and a good way I found of getting loads of points was rallying fever shots, as it adds a multiplier to the points you score. Some of these were single matches, while others were doubles, and the final one had me playing against these Koopas, and these guys were mean. They were not letting me hit the ball through all of the good red rings. Once I finally completed all 100 of the trials and got 3 stars in each of them, I got the medal. And while I was doing all of that, I got another one of the medals for playing 100 matches in total. So all that was left to do now was to beat all of the score games on advanced difficulty to get that final sweet shiny medal. This basically just had me playing through the ring shot and piranha plant plant challenges again on different difficulties. But what caught my eye was the fact that after the advanced difficulties, you could try and go for a higher rank in the game modes. I was curious to see if I could get the highest rank in them, and after going at the ring shot one, I got an A, which I was pretty happy with, but I was curious to see whether there was an S rank. So I played it again, and after rallying some fever shots, I beat my original score and got an S rank. I then went on to get the S rank in the Piranha Plant challenge, and after beating the advanced difficulty of Auto Tennis, I went for the S rank in that as well. This mode had me aiming for certain tiles on the floor to score points. It got a little bit tricky towards the end when I had to quickly react to which tile lit up, but I did manage to get the S rank in it though. And while I didn't get a medal for getting any S ranks, I did get some alternate colour options for Yoshi, which was nice. But for completing the advanced difficulties in those 3 modes, I now had every medal in the game. Nothing popped up after doing it. A congratulations screen or something like that would have been nice, but it's alright. There's still one more thing I wanted to do in this game though, which was to get all of the achievements. These sound like they'd be difficult, but they're really simple to be honest. They basically just have you unlocking things like colour variants for the characters, and different courts you can play on. I had a lot of these achievements done already by just playing matches in different game modes, but surprisingly, I still haven't unlocked a few of the courts. The Racket Factory is a cool one, and surprisingly, Waluigi Pinball is the court in this game. It was really simple to unlock them. All I had to do was play a custom special match on each of them. I didn't even have to win it. I do wish there were more of these courts though. I think more courts based on different games like the Wonder one would be really cool. Who knows, maybe there'll be more courts in like a DLC or something. The last few achievements I went for had me playing against CPUs on different difficulty modes, being Intermediate, Expert and Pro. And after I beat a CPU on Pro, I unlocked the Ace difficulty setting, and I decided to try and beat a CPU on Ace difficulty, since I thought surely something would happen, right? My opponent was Toadette, and it genuinely took me a while to beat her, even with me being able to pick what racket she used. I didn't really know what like the highest tier FIFA rackets were, so I just went for the mud one, since I'd say it's probably my favourite one to use. I got close to beating her a couple of times, but Toadette was just too good. I did eventually get a good run, and I was 5 points ahead of her. Unfortunately though, I just kept messing up, and she started to catch up to me. Thankfully I still managed to win, but that was way too close for my liking. I went back to the menu to see what the game had to say about me beating an A CPU, and nothing. I got nothing.
I hate this game so much.
I'm not gonna lie, that stung a little bit. I don't need to be rewarded all the time in games, but a little good job text box or a gold star somewhere on the menu would have been nice. And I suppose that was it. I got all of the medals and the achievements, but I thought to myself, surely there was a little bit more that I could do, other than just endlessly playing online. Then I remembered Flood saying something about the minigames in the adventure mode having different levels, so I went back to see what he was going on about. What really surprised me is the fact that you seemingly can't go back to the tennis academy once you leave. I just had to pick the training exercises off of the menu. It's a shame because that area was quite charming. It could have been a nice little post-game area with different quests to complete or something like that. Anyway, the higher levels of these exercises weren't too difficult, and completing all of them raised Baby Mario's stats to the max, which is nice I guess, but there being really nothing else to do in the story mode, it did feel kinda pointless. But I guess it did add about half an hour to my total playtime. And that was my entire Mario Tennis FIFA experience, the single player content at least. I played a little bit online, which I'll play the footage of in the background, and I got destroyed. Beating the Ace difficulty didn't seem to help my tennis skills much, but all in all, I'd say I really enjoyed my time with the game. It is a shame though that the adventure mode is so short. You can tell it just wasn't a focus for them during development. Also, I do wish there were more outfits for the characters. Like, come on, even Princess Peach Showtime got that right. I do like the FIFA rackets though. They're fun, and it's nice that there's quite a good variety of them. Anyway, Nintendo, please make a new Mario Sports Mix game. I really just want to play dodgeball again. But let's be real, they're probably just going to do golf again, aren't they? Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, definitely make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.